Hey everyone, my name is Jonathan, and I have two questions for you regarding to today's devotional. Question 1, have you ever thought or felt that God owed you something? And what may not seem related until we see today's passage of Mark 7:24 through 30, is there a greatest country in the world? And if so, what country is it? And for me, I would quickly answer that if I was thinking like, America's the greatest. We dominated the Olympics. We have the smartest minds and the greatest athletes. Go America. We're number one. That's like my response. And I don't think I'm a lot different than most people. And yet we look at this passage and we see how those two questions are related. Jesus went to a new region. He's in Tyre and Sidon. And he entered a house and he didn't want anyone to know he was there. Yet, he couldn't remain hidden because immediately a woman shows up and she is there for her little daughter who had an unclean spirit. She had heard that Jesus was in town and immediately went there to seek him out. Which I understand as a parent. I want my kids to be safe, healthy, and have a good future. And so clearly she doesn't want this unclean spirit around. And most of us can sympathize with her. A little girl with an unclean spirit, we'd want her to feel better. Like, this all makes sense to this point. But at the start of verse 26, there are 6 words that really pivot this story a bit and kind of takes me aback. Now, the woman was a Gentile. It highlighted that she was not Jewish. She was not Israel by birth. And here she is about to make a request of Jesus. And Jesus actually highlights this. And here's her request. Now, the woman begged him to cast the demon out of her daughter, which makes sense. But Jesus' response has always jarred me. And even I'm about to read it and reading it, it's like, I can't believe Jesus said that. And he goes, let the children be fed first, for it is not right to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs. Man, that's tough. Because the children being the Israelites, and he's clearly referring to her as a dog, and that makes us dogs. And as an American, I'm like, what? And oftentimes we make this assumption that we're first or best, or God owes us something. I've lived a good life. I deserve this. Or God, you owe me answers. It's my life. Like, we enter this mentality of entitlement, which is born really out of pride. And so I'm kind of, if I was the woman, I'm thinking, I cannot believe you just called me a dog. I would not advise people going around and calling women dogs. That would not go well. In fact, I don't think even God would be happy with you. So not a great idea. But it's interesting. Her response was, yes, Lord, yet even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs. And so she responds with, I'll acknowledge I'm a dog, but don't dogs have value? Don't they get something? And it's interesting that instead of being entitled or thinking God owed her or bringing in her birth like I'm not less than an Israelite, rather she approaches God with humbleness. And because of her humble faith, Jesus responds, for this statement, you may go your way. The demon has left your daughter. And she goes home and discovers that her daughter is healed. Now, there's a lot going on in this passage about fulfilled promises and the chosen people and who Jesus ministers to and all. But the thing that really jumps out to me is that often as an American, as just a person that struggles with pride, I have sometimes approached God with a little bit too much entitlement. And what I really should be approaching God is an attitude of humbleness. So I want to encourage you, as I've been encouraged by this passage, to follow in this woman's footsteps and approach God with an attitude of humbleness and not one with a list of demands. Until next time, have a great day.